been a lot of people who want to explore Sarasota, to experience it, but not do it in a traditional hotel.
City of Sarasota is taking a closer look at short-term rentals, how the decision could affect thousands of people looking to rent their homes.
Plus new details in 2 death investigations that happened over the weekend.
And the Florida recount chaos may have caused an election official to resign. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us. Our top story tonight, possible changes to short-term rental rules. Commissioner Hagan Brody wants to boost tourism in the city of Sarasota by doing away with the 7-day minimum for host-occupied rentals like Airbnb. Opponents are worried about what that would do to their nearby properties if visitors are allowed to stay just a day or 2 at a time.
ABC7's Jackie Kelly is at City Hall right now, where a commission meeting will soon take place to discuss this very issue. Jackie, what can you tell us?
Scott, Jacqueline, I'm here in front of City Hall where there's a protest that's being organized by people that don't agree with this proposal. They say as of now, rules are already not being enforced and that Brody's proposal will possibly bring down the value of their properties. Jesse Belady lives in the city of Sarasota and says he has had positive experiences renting out his spare room through apps such as Airbnb.
There's been a lot of people who want to explore Sarasota, to experience it, but not do it in a traditional hotel.
He says when people decide to stay in a host-occupied rental, they receive a different experience.
People who visit us are walking around the neighborhood, going over to the Rosemary District and enjoying the new restaurants there. They really, to me, enliven the neighborhood. They're out and about and enjoying everything that the city has to offer.
City Commissioner Hagan Brody says this is an example of what he's proposing, to allow homeowners to rent out a spare room. Brody says that this will not affect vacation home rentals or the week requirement for those rentals.
This is something totally separate. This is called host-occupied rentals, and what we're allowing is private property owners to rent that spare bedroom or that mother-in-law suite for a weekend here and there below the 7-night minimum.
Bob Thill is a member of the Lido Shores Property Owners Association who is against the proposal. He says the current 1-week minimum isn't enforced as it is.
If you can't enforce the current rule that's on the books for 1 week, how are you going to enforce a nightly churning of rental units by Airbnb?
Phil says he fears residential areas will start to become full of Airbnb rentals where there is no homeowner staying in the home. But Brody says through host-occupied rental websites, it's easy to regulate if people are abusing the system.
They are inherently self-regulating. You have the property owner or the host on site to monitor the activities, to keep things under control. So you don't see the problems that you can see with full property vacation rentals in a host-occupied situation. And that's why it's so very different.
Now the meeting will start here at 6 o'clock tonight, and it's just going to be a preliminary hearing, so they're going to be hearing from the public, but nothing's going to be decided on. Reporting live in Sarasota, Jackie Kelly, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Jackie, thank you. New details tonight in a death investigation out of Northport. Police were called to a home in the Grand Paradiso development Saturday night. That's where they found 76-year-old Barbara Jones, who had been injured after a fall. She was taken to the hospital where she later died of her injuries. At the time of the fall, police say she was taking care of her ailing husband, 77-year-old Robert Jones. Investigators say the victim's husband pushed her down while he was receiving care.
Right now, our goal is to piece everything together, get all of those details together, and then what will likely happen here is we'll provide that to the state attorney's office, and they'll make that determination on whether charges will be needed going forward. The gentleman involved is still in the hospital, so he's accounted for. He has health issues, so this unfortunate for everyone involved, but we'll just continue to put everything together. A little bit difficult, but it's possible it was just an accident or not.
Police say an autopsy will take place this week.
Investigators have identified the man shot and killed while driving in Bradenton late Saturday night. Deputies say 22-year-old Breon Pittman was found dead in a vehicle on 17th Street East in Bradenton. Witnesses say they heard gunshots, then saw a vehicle crash into a ditch. A passenger in that car then ran off. Deputies searched the area but were not able to find that person. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. And for the latest breaking news happening across the Suncoast and your first alert weather forecast, make sure to download our ABC7 app. All you have to do is search for WWSB or My Suncoast in your app store.
We had a beautiful weekend here
Really
on the
did.
Suncoast. I mean, just about perfection. I worked outside as much as I could. Yes. A little warmer on this Monday, but let's get more on our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harriman. Bob?
Yeah, some folks enjoying the beach too here on Holmes Beach webcam. You can see we have had a few clouds around. Not a lot in terms of rainfall. Sunshine was out there. You can tell that the red tide isn't too bad right there. A lot of folks out there enjoying it at this point, but still patches of red tide showing up here along the Suncoast. You can see a little bit more than sprinkles developed along the sea breeze front. Some pretty good downpours pushing off to the east. We have some rain out in the Gulf of Mexico as well. This activity continues to head off to the east and should not be a factor near the coastline. You can see near Mayaca City some from moderate to heavy rainfall. In fact, the rainfall rate's up to an inch an hour, which is a pretty hefty amount of rainfall, but we're not looking at a widespread rain event. Again, that's associated with increased dew point temperatures, higher humidity values. They're coming back into play right now. We do have a frontal system in a low pressure area that's developing to the west of us, which will sweep in a little bit cooler air tomorrow late, and we'll notice that on Wednesday morning when lows will be close to seasonal averages, down into the lower 60s as opposed to the upper 60s, which we'll see tonight. So 80 degrees right now. We have sunshine, some high clouds around, and the humidity is what's up, 67%. That dew point number up as well at 68 over the weekend. By the way, that dew point was down into the low 50s. So moisture is coming back into play. Your evening planner looks to be pretty warm by 7 or 11 o'clock tonight. It will be 70, and we'll have partly cloudy skies around. We'll tell you about this front moving through late Tuesday. Also, another one comes Saturday. Details on both those coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Bob, thank you. There are still seats up for grabs in this year's hotly contested midterms, but many of the country's most watched races wrapped up this weekend. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest on who will be taking charge next year.
After nearly 2 weeks of recounts, protests, and runoffs, it seems the midterm elections are finally wrapping up. And in many of the most contested races for governor and Senate, Republicans came out on top. In Georgia, Governor-elect Brian Kemp is already looking ahead after Democrat Stacey Abrams conceded the race over the weekend.
I understand the enormous responsibility that was given to me on November the 6th. I'm prepared to do what it takes to ensure a smooth and successful transition on January the 14th.
President Trump claiming his endorsement helped decide the race.
I went against President Obama and Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama in a great state called Georgia for the governor.
In Florida, 12 days of tension and chaos surrounding dual mandatory recounts have ended with 2 Republicans on top, newly elected Senator Rick Scott and Governor Ron DeSantis. But in California, the blue wave in the House continued, with Democrat Gil Cisneros flipping a seat previously held by a Republican.
People feel like they haven't had real representation in a long time in the district.
Democrats also recently picked up the last Republican-held House seat in Los Angeles County, meaning they've picked up 37 seats so far.
But we're not quite done with midterms just yet. A handful of House elections are still up in the air, and there's one Senate race in Mississippi that will be decided by a runoff. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Well, the chaotic recount likely led to the resignation of a South Florida elections official. The supervisor of elections in Broward County, Brenda Snipes, will reportedly resign in January. The South Florida Sun-Sentinel reporting Snipes turned in her resignation letter yesterday. Snipes has been the top elections official in Broward since 2003, but she's been heavily criticized for how she handled this year's election and recount. On Saturday, Snipes acknowledged her office had misplaced more than 2,000 ballots during the recount.
Well, ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now with a tough start to a holiday week on Wall Street.
At least it's a short week. We've got something to be grateful for because today was, again, a very tough day. Down 512 points. No, that was not the close, but indeed that was the low of the day, and we continue to see weakness all across the board, particularly in the NASDAQ. Remember those famous FANG stocks that led the market so much higher? Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google? Well, every single one of those 5 stocks is down by at least 20% from their earlier high of this year. Quite a drop, need I say. Speaking of quite a drop, let's take a look at today's closing. Not down 512, but down 396, down 395.78, a loss of more than 1.5%, closing at 25,017.44 on relatively light holiday volume of 702 million shares. Then we move on to the NASDAQ, and there you see the big damage, down more than 3% in one day, 219 points at 7,028.48, also in relatively light volume of 1,515 million shares. And certainly the S&P participated as well, down by 1 2/3%, 45.5 points at 2,690.73. Well, you may not know the name Carlos Ghosn, but guess what? If you live in Japan or you're familiar with the automobile industry, you know it very well. Mr. Ghosn, by the way, is only the chairman of Nissan, of Mitsubishi, and Renault. And guess what? He was arrested today. Yes, I say he was arrested. He's being accused of, quote, significant financial misconduct, unquote. He's also been accused of using company assets for his own use. I think you can call that probably airplanes. And everything he has touched certainly has been a problem. When we look at exactly how large this company is, because of those 3 basic brands they own, 1 out of every 9 cars in this world is built by his company, and they have 470,000 employees all across the world. But financial misconduct, no matter how you call it, when they fire the president and then arrest him, something tells me there are big problems going on in Japan.
Certainly. Well, you mentioned the FANG stocks. Some more news for us today on Google, or on Facebook, rather?
Yeah, well, all of them are having problems, but Facebook is down 15% in the last 30 days. And they've got lots of problems themselves, very well documented, management, etc. So stay tuned.
All right. Thank you so much, Richard.
You're very welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, how transportation and security officials are preparing for the Thanksgiving travel rush.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus possible new hope for children with peanut allergies. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
ABC7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
Year-end clearance time at every Gettle location. Over 3,000 new vehicles, over 1,000 used vehicles on clearance right now at Gettle.com. And Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Get credit help, fast cash for your car, and year-end clearance prices right now at a Gettle dealership near you. Gettle's got it. At Gettle.com.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Happy Honda Days are here, and you're gonna like the holiday clearance savings. Save on the Accord, on sale for just $249 a month. That's the North American car of the year for less than the competition. Our most impressive Honda ever, on clearance for only $249 a month, loaded with more options, including a turbocharged engine and Honda Sensing. Do not miss these Honda clearance savings this week at your local Honda dealer.
Imagine a world filled with pillow fights, playgrounds, and the search for the perfect climbing tree. Every kid deserves that world, but 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger. At No Kid Hungry, we're committed to creating a world where every kid eats healthy food every day. We raise funds, we help families, and we lift up communities.
Thanksgiving just days away now, and the holiday travel crush is set to be the busiest it's been in more than a dozen years. ABC's Gio Benitez is at LaGuardia Airport in New York with a breakdown of this year's travel numbers.
Experts are expecting this to be the busiest Thanksgiving travel period in some 13 years. That starts today. It's only going to get worse from here. Take a look at these numbers right now, because at airports, the TSA is expecting a record-breaking 25 million passengers to fly. And when you break that down by the day, they're expecting 137,000 more people to fly daily. So they're adding more than 1,000 officers to help out. Now, as for the roads, cars, they're the most popular way people travel. 48.5 million people are expected to hit the road. That's an increase of 5% from last year. 2.4 million more people are expected to drive. Now, the busiest day to leave for the holiday is Wednesday, but all that considered, the best day to travel, regardless of how you do it, planes, trains, automobile, is Thanksgiving Day itself. But listen, you've got that snow threat, you've got that rain threat this week in the Northeast, so it's going to be a mess all across this country. Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Well, you don't have much of that here, threat-wise.
No, well, he made a wrong forecast there. It's not going to be a threat across the whole country. The Northeast, yes. Let's go to the map and show you what's happening for all you travelers heading out. This is the GFS forecast model showing what's going to be happening today, late tonight, not much. And as we take you through time, Tuesday looks to be pretty rough over parts of western Pennsylvania, northeast Ohio, western New York, and the northern New England states. And Wednesday, this is the busiest travel day, he said, and high pressure is sprawling across most of the U.S., from the Carolinas all the way through the central U.S. and out in the west United States. And then there's that northeast storms he's talking about into the evening hours. Looks like northern New England states could have some problems there, and also New York. But elsewhere, things are pretty quiet. Now, as we go through Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, there is a storm out west. We're waiting for that rain to come in, and it's going to come in there. But high pressure will dominate the weather through Thanksgiving and Friday. And then Saturday, a developing storm system will cause some problems and some headaches for folks getting back maybe, but mainly rainfall from Ohio all the way down into northern sections of Florida. We'll see a chance for showers here come, looks like, late in the afternoon and evening on Saturday. That could change as far as the timing goes, but right now it appears the front will move through as that low pressure develops off the coast there. And then another snowstorm starting to develop over parts of Sunday over the Plain States, and then moving into the Midwest on Sunday evening. For us, we'll start to see some northerly flow, which will cool us down for early next week. So we're going to stay pretty close to seasonal averages, I suspect, over the upcoming days, and then we'll get a little bit cooler, I think, early next week. A lot of clouds around this afternoon. Sea breeze developed. There goes a shower there, and no thunderstorm, but some pretty heavy rainfall. So periods of isolated showers are possible through this evening, mainly east of I-75. 78 now in Orlando. It's 80 degrees in Sarasota. A bit cooler over the Panhandle, 66 in Pensacola, 70 now in Tallahassee, and temperatures around town into the mid-70s at Cortez and out of the Barrier Islands there, 74 the Gulf water temperature. That's cooled down. Still around 80 degrees in Arcadia, Mayaca, and of course Health Smart. Always remember to stay smart when it comes to health. We'll see that in a minute, but 67 degrees in Sarasota, 68 in Braden, and that's a low tomorrow, 65 in Wauchula, and 66 in Sebring. As far as the weather headlines, I read like this. We'll see a weak cold front late Tuesday. Now, that front is going to cool us down for overnight readings. Tonight's lows will be warm. And then slightly cooler lows, I mentioned, and then we'll see Saturday a good chance for showers. There's a slight chance for an isolated thunderstorm Saturday, but not much at this point. The chance for thunderstorms at 20%, the chance for rain at 60%. This area of low pressure is starting to get its act together near Louisiana, which will eventually send a front our way. Well, here's what's happening. We have some snow showers over northern sections of Pennsylvania tonight, and a little bit of freezing rain there as well. And then taking a look at the satellite imagery showing the upper level cloudiness that has been moving in and out, and that west coast sea breeze developing. The cloudiness a little bit more concentrated over the northern Gulf of Mexico. As far as the wind flow, It'll start to change. You'll see that change tomorrow, right around midday afternoon. They'll come out of the north and pick up a little bit more in intensity out of that northerly flow. As far as the water vapor goes, you can see some moisture content in the upper levels of the atmosphere. That just means clouds for us, basically. The forecast for us tomorrow calling for a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. It shouldn't be totally cloudy, but we will see some breaks. Highs will be in the upper 70s, and then current conditions, we do have some clouds and 80 degrees. The pressure 30.05 inches. And the dew point is going back up there. Temperature is pretty cold over the northern plain states. For boaters tomorrow, winds will be out of the north at 10 knots. Seas will be right around 2 feet. There'll be a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The extended forecast then calling for just a 20% chance for a shower here Tuesday afternoon and evening. Wednesday looks good. Thanksgiving, thankful, 77 for a high, and better chance of rain comes on Saturday. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, Bob. Now in First Alert traffic, we're seeing a problem at the on-ramp there at Fruitville and I-75. This is the on-ramp to head north there. You see it as, but it's really affecting that whole interchange. Backups as you head east, also heading west, and then the on-ramp as you head to the north on the interstate, also slow going there at this hour. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, if you're worried about flying with a peanut allergy, help is on the way. ABC's Elizabeth Herr tells us about a new medication with some exciting results.
Allergies are no joke, and people with allergies to peanuts can have trouble breathing and even die if exposed. If you have a peanut allergy, you know how hard it can be to go out to eat or even board a plane. Now, researchers have created a new medication with exciting results. The drug called AR-101, currently in clinical trials, is taken by mouth and made of a peanut-derived material. It can help desensitize people to avoid the dangerous effects of an allergic reaction that can result in death. It may not be possible to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich just yet, but you may be able to breathe a little easier on your next trip once this medication is commercially available. With this Medical Minute, I'm Elizabeth Herr, ABC News.
Coming up, an emergency dispatcher handles a house fire call at his own house, and a car crashes into new police building at over 100 miles per hour. We'll have more on those stories straight ahead.
Accolades are great. Just wait until you see our prices. Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
It's a brand given life by craftsmen with seductive Italian styling. The Alfa Romeo Giulia, Stelvio.
Get yours at Sunset Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Experience true automotive luxury at Sunset Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
I'll be right back.
Emergency dispatchers are used to handling calls about house fires, but a recent call for a Midwestern dispatcher hit very close to home. Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
A Nebraska emergency dispatcher had to handle a call for a house fire at his own house. When the location first came in, Bill Weiss knew it was on his street, but only after the location was corrected did the Douglas County dispatcher realize the fire was at his home. Weiss said he handled it like any other call, dispatching crews to the scene, but then called his fiancée and daughters, who thankfully were not at home. Investigators say the cause was an electrical fire sparked near a wall-mounted TV, and although the fire claimed the family's pet, Weiss says he's thankful his loved ones are safe.
I feel grateful that none of my family got hurt, because I don't think I could have taken that.
Newly released video from Illinois shows an SUV crashing into an Arlington Heights police building that's still under construction. Police say the driver was traveling at over 100 miles per hour when he lost control. No one was inside, and police say the driver has since been treated and released. They say the man was under the influence of drugs, and he's now facing multiple charges. All right, how about a moment of zen after all that? Check out this psychedelic jellyfish. That's how crew members of NOAA's Okeanos Explorer vessel describe it. It's actually called Crosoto milse and was spotted off Puerto Rico, hovering above the sea floor, its stinging tentacles extended and waiting for prey. The crew members suggest that this unique pose allows for 360-degree feeding. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Imagine if that thing came swimming next to you.
It's like an alien almost, doesn't it?
It's kind of odd. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, how a Suncoast man is turning giant metal boxes into safe places to live for the homeless.
And the search continues for survivors in California, what officials say is now their main concern in the aftermath of those deadly wildfires.
According to Golf Digest, 2 of the nation's top golf resorts are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, the Auburn Opelika Marriott at Grand National, and the Renaissance Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa in Birmingham. Plus, the Marriott at Grand National was recognized as Hotel of the Year by Marriott International. Experience luxury and world-class golf Southern style. Visit rtjgolf/resorts or call 800-949-4444 to book your trip to the trail.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Get more for your money during the Subaru Share the Love event at Sunset Subaru. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Now, lease a new Subaru Impreza for just $145 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Give today at force.uso.org.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.